Jethro, what are you doing?
I'm taking you home.
What for?
So you can cook for me and take care of me.
Are you mad? Impetuous boy. Mother always wanted a big wedding, but if you insist, we'll elope.
I'm awful sorry you got the wrong notion, Miss Jane. You see, I ain't got marriage in mind. Just cooking and such.
Oh, I see. Granny hasn't returned from Petticoat Junction.
And Ellie's trying to take her place, and it's pitiful.
Well, how is your Uncle Jed managing?
I ain't seen much of him since Ellie commenced cooking. He's got his hiding places, I got mine.
I'm just getting rid of a few of these ants here.
I don't say no, I ain't.
Oh, done a good job tonight.
Sure did. And as a reward, I'm going to give you a double helping of what I just cooked.
Oh, Ellie, I don't think I'm up to eating a full meal right now. Why don't you just heat me up a can of that fine tomato soup that's in there in the cupboard?
Oh, but I fixed you a special treat that I made up all by myself. I call it my surprise loaf.
Oh.
Come on.
Oh, Ellie, I just thought of something. Jethro's going to be awful hurt if I eat without him. I'll go find the boy.
Oh, Jethro ain't here. He took the truck and left.
When did you do that?
Well, I think it was right after I told him I was going to cook a surprise loaf.
More than likely.
That's right, operator. She's at the Shady Rest Hotel in Petticoat Junction. But the nearest phone is at Sam Drucker's store in Hooterville. Thank you. Bye. They's going to get a message to Granny to come to town and call.
Hi, Granny.
Howdy, Mr. Drucker. Did you send for me?
Well, yeah, Granny. How'd you get here so fast?
I run. It's only 6 miles.
Why didn't you catch the train?
I did. I caught it and I passed it.
Sarah? This is Sam. Sarah, Granny's here now, so you can get a hold of that Beverly Hills operator and have her call us back, huh? Thanks, Sarah. Well, Granny, how's Betty Jo's baby?
Oh, just fine and dandy. Now.
Now? Was something wrong?
Something wrong. Mr. Drucker, what I done for that baby is a miracle. A medical miracle.
What was wrong? What did you do?
Oh, sorry, I can't tell you. That would be violating the confidence betwixt the patient and the doctor.
Oh.
I wish I could tell you, but me being a physician, my lips are sealed. You understand?
Oh, of course.
But it was one doozy of a miracle. Now, if you was another doctor, I could tell you. Have you ever been a doctor?
No.
Ever been a patient?
Oh, yeah.
Oh! Well, then I won't be violating the confidence betwixt the doctor and the patient. Mr. Drucker, in all my 60 years of doctoring, I have never been so shook up as I was the first time I peeked into that crib and saw Betty Jo's baby. It looked for all the world like an Airedale puppy. Sakes alive. And I thought Jethro was an ugly baby.
You say it looked like an Airedale puppy?
and not even the pick of the litter. But I brought it back to normal with my miracle medicine.
Say, Granny, as I remember, you left your spectacles in Andy Partner's jitney, so it just could be...
Do you think I need these? I got eyes like a hawk. I only use them for professional reasons. Folks don't trust a young-looking doctor.
I'll bet that's your call from Beverly Hills.
I'll get it. Hello?
Granny?
Yeah, this is Granny. Who's talking?
This is Sam Drucker, but...
It ain't neither. Sam Drucker's right here with me. Your other phone's ringing.
Thanks, I'll get it.
Hello? Hello?
Hello? Oh, yeah, right here, Sarah. Granny, it's your call from Beverly Hills.
Well, you take this phone and tell that smart aleck that it's against the law to play pranks on doctors and firemen.
I'll do that.
Hello?
Hello, Granny. This here's Jethro.
Speak up, boy. We got a bad connection.
Oh, no, you don't. Now, I got strict orders from Sam not to let you loose in the store. Now, come here. Come on. Last time you went through a whole sack of dog biscuits, remember?
Hello?
Hello, Granny?
Oh, thank you. That's a better connection.
Hi, Sam. Granny?
Well, if it isn't a proud father.
Say, did those things come in that we ordered for the baby?
Yeah, they're in the back. How's Betty Joe?
Oh, she's fine. The baby had a bad night.
Oh?
Yeah, started howling about 3 this morning, kept it up till dawn.
Poor little thing reverted. Must have been a full moon last night.
Granny!
Huh? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Jethro. What do you want?
You gotta come home and cook for us. We need you something desperate.
Not as desperate as they need me here. Cooks are a dime a dozen. But where can the parents of that poor, blighted baby get another miracle-working doctor?
Hey, come on back here.
Wait, little baby, wait! That little goomer might be homely, but it's the fastest crawler I've ever seen.
Jethro, I think I have the solution to your food problem. This is an employment agency where you can hire maids, cooks, and all domestic help.
Well, Miss Jane, I think you done saved my life. How can I thank you?
As the poet says, with hugs and kisses debts are paid when settling score twixt man and maid.
Hot dog! I'll be sure and hire a pretty one.
Where's Dandy? That's what you call real soul food.
Uncle Jed!
Out here in the kitchen, Jethro.
Uncle Jed, have I got a surprise?
I don't think I can stand another one today.
Well, wait till you see her. Her? Miss Jane sent me to an employment agency, so I hired us an imported cook, direct from Italy.
Well, fetch her in, boy.
She don't speak much English, but I done learned Italian.
Just today?
Well, yeah, you got to remember, this is the brain of a 6th grader. Now, watch. I'm going to call her in genuine Italian. A bambina, a bringing yourself to the kitchen. But that's Italian for kitchen.
You tell.
Pick up them 4 languages just like that. Ain't she something?
Mighty pretty girl. And she can cook, huh?
Vittles is all she thinks about. Watch this. Howdy.
Ciao.
See? She must have mentioned chow at least a dozen times today already. Senior Maria, this here's my Uncle Jed.
Howdy.
Ciao.
See? There she goes again.
Va essere un piacere lavorare per voi come cuciniera ed aspetto che ti piaccio.
What'd you say?
Oh, I ain't too sure, Uncle Jed. I don't understand Italian as good as I talk it.
Well, we's mighty pleased to have you here, Miss...
Grazie. Ci è bellissimo.
That's a mighty pretty name.
Oh, that ain't her name. That's probably something she's gonna cook for us.
Oh, Ellie, come on over and meet this young lady.
Senior Maria, this is my cousin Ellie.
Howdy. Ciao.
She does have vittles on her mind.
Yeah, she's gonna cook us up a storm.
Oh, what's wrong with my cooking?
Shall I tell her?
You better let me. Ellie, your cooking is in a class by itself. Ain't nobody can touch it.
That's the truth.
But you see, this young lady is new in our country, and she needs all the experience she can get.
Oh, well, fine. I'll learn her how to make my surprise loaf.
I believe I'd hold off on that for a spell, but why don't you take the young lady up to your room and make her comfortable?
Oh, yes, sir, Pop. Come on, Senor Maria.
We'll see you later for chow.
Oh, ciao.
What'd you do that for?
Oh, that means something in Italian. I don't know what, but they all do it.
Let me see.
I'll tote her suitcases up to the room.
Wonder what I just said.
Hi, honey.
Hi, darling. Got the new nursing bottles. How's the baby?
Sleeping, thank goodness. Oh, hello, boy.
Honey, I wouldn't hold him. I think he's got fleas again.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, there's still some of that insect repellent that Granny brewed up.
Oh, yeah, what she calls her miracle medicine. Come on, boy, let's give Granny's cure another try.
Need some help?
No. You sit right here. You had a rough night.
Hello, little mama.
Hello, Granny.
I heard that you had a bad night last night.
Yes, we did. I think it was colic.
Did you say colic or collie?
Colic.
Did your husband get home with the little fellow yet?
Yes, weren't you with them on the train?
No, I cut through the woods to look for some roots and some yarbs. I gotta brew up another batch of my miracle medicine.
Oh, there's still some left. Steve just went in to use it on the little flea trap.
Oh, honey, don't call that precious little darling a flea trap.
Oh, I call him all kinds of things, but I love the little mutt.
Well, there's one thing about you young'uns of today. You've got the courage to face the truth. In my day, we'd have kept him upstairs in a room with the shades drawn.
I wouldn't do that. I think he's cute.
There's nothing mightier than the power of mother love. Betty Jo, sit down, honey. I want to talk to you about your family plans. Have you and your husband thought about having any more young'uns?
Oh, yes, we want to have a large family.
In spite of what happened last night?
Oh, sure. You can't expect a baby to be perfect.
Yeah, but they don't have to miss by that much.
The way Steve and I feel, we want to have a dozen more, just like the first one.
Honey, courage is one thing, but foolishness is another.
Well, I guess a dozen was an exaggeration.
Good girl.
But at least 4 or 5.
Now you're heading in the right direction.
Look who's ready for a stroll.
Did my miracle medicine work?
Oh, it sure did, Granny.
I done it again. I mean, you done it again.
Granny, telegram just came for you.
How'd you get here, Sam?
Pumped out on a hand car.
Come on, Sam, we pumping back in.
Oh, what's the matter?
My family's starving. Take care of the baby. If it barks, give it a boom. I'll be back come the next full moon.
Do you understand what she was talking about?
Not a word. But you have to admit there hasn't been a dull moment since she came to visit.
Yeah. Someday we ought to visit her planet.
See you later, girls.
You can put that silly looking hat back on your head, you're fired.
What for?
For leaving your desk during your lunch break.
But, Chief,
Where were you?
having lunch.
That's no excuse.
Fine thing. You gorge yourself while my largest depositor starves.
Jed Clampett?
If that magnificent multimillionaire loses so much as 1 ounce, you'll spend 30 days in the vault counting nickels.
Chief.
With the lights out. I had to handle this emergency all alone.
What emergency?
Granny called here. She said she had to get home from Hooterville right away. Now, you know where Hooterville is?
No?
Neither does anyone else. Oh, I had to move heaven and earth to arrange transportation for that little woman. Traveling by hand car, horseback, motorcycle, and a crop dusting plane out of the Napa-Sonoma Valley.
Get me to Beverly Hills, Lindy.
Hand car, cow pony, motorcycle, plane. Oh, boy. You have any idea what these travel arrangements are going to cost?
No.
Well, you will, because it's going to come out of your salary.
You fired me.
You're hired again. I can't afford a tab like this.
Chief, you brought this all on yourself by panicking. There is no emergency at the Clampetts.
What are you babbling about? Granny said they were starving.
A false alarm. I sent Jethro to an employment agency. He hired a cook, and she's there now.
You mean to say that Granny's going to come home and find another woman in her kitchen?
Well,
You're fired again! And I'm going right over there and fire her!
if I'm fired, how can I pay for the...
It'll come out of your unemployment check.
I declare them is just about the best victuals I ever tasted.
Me too, Pa.
I'll compliment the cook in her native language. Hey, Bambina, this stuff is the what you call a delish. That's Italian for good.
Scusi. Next, dolce, tortoni.
What'd she say? Oh, something about a friend of hers named Tony.
If you could cook like that girl, you'd have to beat the boys off with a club.
I know, Pa. I'm going to ask her to learn me how to make that vegetable soup.
That stringy stuff with the red gravy was right tasty.
Boy, are you two a couple of roots. That there soup is what you call minestrone. And the stringy stuff is what us Italians call spaghetti.
You Italian now?
I told her I was. See, I aims to marry her. Italians is kind of clank.
Listen, young lady, you pack your things and you get over to my house.
Resterai lei, non capisco.
Italiana.
Sì?
Oh, bene, bene, signorina. Benvenuto. Mi piace mangiare italiano. Chicken cacciatore. Ah, Joe è bellissimo.
Grazie, grazie. Lei è molto amabile.
Piacere. Ah, spaghettini alla marinara. Ah, molto belli.
Sta comodi per mangiare.
Grazie.
Take this crate go no faster. I got a family down there starving to death.
We're over Beverly Hills now, landed the nearest airfield.
Ain't no time for that. I see the house down there. Thanks for the lift, Lindy. Geronimo! Hang on, you poor starving wretches. I'm almost there.
Is red gravy on it?
That ain't red gravy. That's what you call marijuana sauce. Jed, I marry up with that Italian doll. You want to come live with us?
Where you aim to live?
Right here.
No, Jethro, don't eat that boiled string.
What is all this?
My parachute. tote me to the kitchen and prop me up to the stove, and I'll save you. You hunger-starved wretches.
We ain't hungry. We've been living high on the spaghetti.
Well, what'd you send me that telegram for? Saying you were starving.
I didn't send you no telegram.
I sent it, Granny. Signed Uncle Jed's name to it so you'd pay attention.
Why, you miserable walking gizzard. I'm gonna beat that 6th grade brain of yours clean down to the kindergarten.
Signore, signorina, now is coming Tortoni.
Well, fine. Have Tony sit right there in Jethro's place.
Yeah, he won't be coming back for a while.
When he does, he's going to eat standing up.
Betsy sure is crazy about Maria's leftover spaghetti.
Yeah, so I see. Is Maria still at the stove?
Yes, sir. Warming up some more of them delicious Italian victuals.
And is Granny still up in her room?
Yes, sir, sulking and pouting, because there's another woman in her kitchen.
I was afraid of that. Well, I guess I got to do what I got to do.
La la ba dee da dum, bam bam ba dee dum, Santa Lucia, Santa Lucia. Oh, signor Uncle Jed, buongiorno.
Same to you, I'm sure. Miss Maria, ma'am. Well, first off, I want to say that we're real pleased with your victuals.
Victuals? Non capisco.
You cook good.
Ah, cook good. Grazie, grazie.
Yes, ma'am. So, what I'm about to say has got nothing to do with that. You see, it's Granny. See, this is her kitchen.
Kitchen? Grande, bellissimo.
All right. Well, your cooking for us while Granny was away was a real lifesaver. But now she's back, her nose is plumb out of joint.
Nose?
Yeah, out of joint. She's sulking because you're in her kitchen.
Kitchen? Grande, bellissimo.
Yes, ma'am. Well, anyway, what I want to say is, I'm awful sorry, but I'm going to have to let you go. Well, I'll see to it you get a check for a month's salary.
Salary. Si, salary. You like, huh?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh,
But
then.
Miss Maria, ma'am, I'm just going to have to come out and say this blunt. You're fired.
Fire. Si. Hot cook, good salary. Huh?
I'm afraid what we got here is a failure to communicate. I'll have my nephew talk to you. He claims to speak Italian.
Arrivederci.
Jethro.
Well, will you please come in and bring your book?
Hail, Mr. Drysdale.
Hail, Jethro. Hail? What's going on? What's this get up for?
So I can make a hit with that beautiful Italian cook.
She'll see him as the noblest Roman of them all.
Caesar?
Not yet, but he plans to hold hands with her tonight.
When will I learn to stay in my own office and keep the door closed? Oh, by the way, Jethro, how is Granny taking this? Having another cook in her kitchen.
I don't know. She ain't come out of her room since she got home.
Granny? Granny, you in there? What in the Sam Hill? What do you think you're doing?
Do I hear a voice? Is that the angel Gabriel calling me?
Granny, get up from there.
I'm ready, Gabriel. I've lived out my usefulness here on this earth. My family don't need me no more.
This is just a lot of nonsense.
I left home on an errand of mercy. And when I come back, the door was locked again me. My son-in-law, Jed, had brought home a wild young wench to take my place.
Granny,
Yes, Gabriel?
I'm Jed. Now you get up from there and take off that dress.
No. You ain't gonna give this to your girlfriend. It's my funeral dress. And it was my mama's funeral dress.
Your mama's?
She fell in the swamp and never got to use it.
Well, you ain't going to use it either. Now, change into something else and come on down to the kitchen.
No, Jed, no. Don't force me to watch the scandalous goings-on betwixt you and that woman.
You ain't going to watch no goings-on.
Thank you. At least I won't have to carry that disgraceful picture to my grave. I'm ready, Gabriel. Jed, do the decent thing. Send Ellie Mae and Jethro out of the house. Don't debauch the young.
Hey, Jethro, what you got there?
This here's my Italian outfit. I'm gonna wear it tonight when I step out with Senior Maria.
Hey, listen, Jethro. Could you cheer Granny up? Me and Pa ain't had no luck at all.
Heck yeah! I'm so full of the joy of love, I could cheer up a statue.
That's better. That white powder covers the rosy glow of youth. This will have them bawling their eyes out.
Granny, can I come in? Oh, hi, Granny. Taking a nap, huh? You fell asleep with a flower in your hand. I put it in water for you.
Don't bother. It's just like me. Old and wilted and ready to die.
Yeah, reckon you're right. Hey, you got flour all over your face. You been messing around the kitchen again? No need to do that. We got us a real cook now. Yeah. That's better. You're just looking like a corpse.
I am a corpse. The flame of life is burned low. It'll go out any minute now.
Oh, you reckon that'll be before lunch?
What?
I want to tell Maria how many places to set.
You miserable monkey. You got a heart like a vulture. Get out of here.
Jethro, I'm still waiting to have that talk.
Right after lunch, Uncle Jeb.
That's your 5th lunch. How many are you going to eat?
Well, probably not more than 6. She's getting to the bottom of the pot. Done running clean out of Capisco.
Mi scusi, voglio portare I rimanenti agli animali.
Same to you, I'm sure. Now's our chance to talk. Jethro, there ain't no kitchen in the world big enough to hold 2 cooks. One of them's got to go, you understand?
Yes, sir.
Now, I don't like to hurt nobody's feelings, and Granny has been with us a lot of years, right?
Right?
She's old now, and she feels she's outlived her usefulness.
Yeah, I know. She told me so.
So when it comes to choosing between Granny and Maria, there's only one choice we can make.
Pa! Pa! Granny says she don't want to live no more. Says please end her suffering. Says just cart her off in a wheelbarrow and dump her in a hole.
Well, boy, I guess that tells better than I can how desperate things is. You know what you got to do.
Yes, sir. I'll get right at it.
Get it out of here. What do you think you're doing, Jed?
What do you do?
Carting her out to the hole.
Put that wheelbarrow down.
Okay. You take her the rest of the way. I dug a hole under the big elm tree.
Help me to my feet, Jed. I'm gonna skin that boy alive.
Don't get mad at me, Granny. It was Uncle Jed told me to do it.
Help me to my feet, Ellie. I'm gonna load my shotgun with rock salt and take the hide off both of them.
Let's go, boy. What we got here is another failure to communicate.
And now a memo to all employees. Subject, Christmas bonus. It makes me very happy to announce that this year's Christmas bonus will be the same as last year's.
There was no Christmas bonus last year.
And it'll be the same this year, which makes me very happy.
Excuse me, Mr. Drysdale, but ain't you president of this here bank?
That's right, Jethro.
And ain't I heard you say that's just like being captain of a ship?
Exactly.
Good. Then I'm going to go fetch Maria over and you can marry us.
What did he say?
Sounded like something...
Oh, Miss Jane, would you please be my best man or bridesmaid or whatever it is and give me away?
Jethro,
I'd ask my Uncle Jed, except he's still up in the tree.
Jethro? Your Uncle Jed is up in a tree?
If somebody was chasing you with a shotgun, you'd climb a tree, too.
Somebody's after Mr. Clapper with a shotgun?
Oh, don't worry. Everything will quiet down after Granny's funeral.
Granny's funeral!
Blast Uncle Jed down out of the tree. She's going gunning for Maria.
Why?
Because Maria done took over the kitchen. The whole house is in uproar. If I don't get her out, there's going to be rock salt bouncing off every wall. Oh, wish me a happy wedding. All clear.
I sure do appreciate your stopping under that tree, Miss Jane.
Glad to give help.
Excuse me if I take cover. Granny might have me in her sights, and that rock salt smart's considerable. Where's the fastest temper in the West?
Upstairs in her room.
Good. Now fetch Maria, because Miss Jane thinks she can make peace betwixt them.
Oh, yes, sir, Pa. Maria's in the kitchen with Jethro.
This here's the suit my Uncle Jed got married in. Now it's going to be my bridal outfit. Got the truck parked out back. We're going to hop on that rascal, stop at the bank, get married, and then hightail it for Niagara Falls.
No capisco.
You can cook that later.
Jethro. Excuse me. Miss Jane wants to talk to Maria.
I'll tell her in Italian. Hey, Bambino, you talk to Miss Jane, a chop a chop.
Non capisco.
We'll eat later. By and a by.
It sure would be nice for Granny if she'd let Miss Maria help her.
Oh, and nice for Maria, too. Unless she's employed, she'll have to go back to Italy.
Sure enough?
Yes, they told me at the agency that her family's in rather dire need. These postcards and letters are from her parents in Venice.
Oh, I'll see if she gets them. I hope it ain't bad news.
Oh, here she comes.
Good luck.
Ah, buongiorno, Maria. Mi chiamo Jane Hathaway.
Parla italiano.
Oh, solo un po'. Ne parleremo a Granny, le non del temperamento terribile, huh?
Sure hope Miss Maria gets to stay.
Well, one thing's certain. We can't let her go home to Venice. Not right now.
Why, how come?
Well, look at that. They're having one of the worst floods I ever seen.
Gee whiz, Pa. Water's plumb up to the window.
Can't even see the front porches. That rain must have been a real gully water.
Hope she don't have to go home.
Poor girl could drown just crossing the street.
Granny has agreed to see you. Granny, accetta di vederla.
Then,
Now, you must be pleasant and agreeable. Sia gentile e accondescente. Capito?
see?
That is the key word. Si. In English se dice yes.
Yes.
Yes, bene, bene. Yes to everything, huh? Granny, I should like to present Signorina Maria.
Sit down. Not you. I want to see her alone.
But Granny, in all fairness,
I'll be fair. Now, you just wait outside.
Si ricorde, è con the ship.
Never mind that foreign talk. Skedaddle. So, you're the little hussy that would like to take over my kitchen and get rid of me.
Yes.
Brazen little package, ain't you?
Yes.
And I'll bet that you've got eyes for my rich son-in-law, Jed.
Yes.
You admit?
Yes.
Well, this is going to be a real interesting talk.
Where's Maria?
Well, upstairs with Miss Jane.
What are you doing in my Sunday go-to-meeting deads?
Fixing to get married to Maria? I figure the wedding will take place about 2:30. Y'all are invited. Except you got to get into some decent clothes.
And you ain't about to marry Maria. Now get upstairs and get out of my good suit.
You mean you ain't going to let me wear your bridal outfit?
Oh, all right. Now go do as I tell you.
But gee whiz, Uncle Jim.
Hop to it, and the next time you want to borrow something from me, you ask me first.
But gosh.
Scat. Way overdue having a long talk with that boy.
Well, why you keep putting it off, Paul?
I reckon it's because the short ones are so distressing.
Miss Jane? Miss Jane, have you seen Maria?
She's in there with Granny.
You reckon she's asking for my hand in marriage?
I rather doubt it.
Miss Jane, would you do me a big favor?
Certainly.
Would you go into my room and pick out my best-looking tie for me?
Oh, well.
Please?
Oh, well. Very well.
So, now it comes out. Jed Clampett has asked you to marry up with him.
Yes?
Didn't want me wearing your marrying clothes. You was fixing to wear them to your own wedding. What? Don't play innocent with me. I know what you've been up to, but it ain't gonna be that easy. You's gonna have to fight me for Maria.
Maria?
We's gonna settle this Roman style. I'm taking you to the Coliseum and gladiate you.
Oh, what in the world are you...
Lucky for you, they got a Coliseum right here in Los Angeles. Otherwise, I'd have to tie you on behind my chariot and drag you plumb to Rome.
You figure out what he's talking about?
No, sir, Paul.
Well, that's comforting. At least there's two of us. Jethro, where do you think you're going?
I'm going to get us some gladiating outfits. And quick as the lions is done eating the hippies, you and me is going at it. Hi, Alec. How do I look?
Well, you look like a big dumb nut.
Oh, yeah? Well, you won't think so when you come to the Coliseum. And I go to gladiating Uncle Jed up one wall and down the other.
Huh, that's what you think. Paul's gonna whoop you good.
You reckon he could?
Heck yeah.
Listen, Ellie, come around the back and let me practice netting and gigging you, huh?
Outside.
Granny? What are you fixing to do?
I told this little gold-digging vamp that I'd give her a 50-foot running start down the driveway. Then I'm gonna come in salting her flank.
You ain't gonna do no such a thing.
Jed, come to your senses before this Jezebel makes even a bigger fool out of you.
Maria ain't no Jezebel. She's a fine, sweet, hard-working...
Now it's too late to protect her. She's done confessed.
To what?
You name it. She's confessed to it.
Granny, the girl don't know that much English.
She don't, huh? Watch this. Maria, are you after this old rooster for his money?
Yes?
You want to hear some real juicy stuff?
She don't even know what you said. She's from Italy, a place called Venice.
Well, let her go back to Venice.
Granny, she can't go back. The whole town is flooded.
Did she give you that story?
She don't even know it yet. These just come from her folks back in Italy. Never see a town so hard hit by rain.
Must have been a real trash mover.
Jane says her folks is hard up, like they can't even afford a boat.
Oh,
Granny, Maria'd be a big help to you out in the kitchen.
I don't need no help.
True. But standing over that hot stove all day has aged you beyond your years.
Think so?
Oh, Laura Maria. Como è andata?
Bene, penso.
Good news, Miss Jane. Granny has agreed to let Maria help her in the kitchen for a spell.
Well, it's for her own sake. If she's gonna make a living cooking, she's got to learn American dishes. Like grits and fatback and possum and collard greens. Well, your everyday average American meal.
You tasted her Italian cooking, Granny?
Only cold. Last night
I thought you was looking mighty well fed for a corpse.
well, I admit it. Last night I snuck down, snooped, snacked, and snuck back.
First I throws a net over you and drags you down. And then I puts my foot on you and looks up to the royal box to see if he gets this or this. Ready?
Ready.
Oh!
How about it, Bessie?
Hey, now, wait a minute, Ellie. Hey, let's try it again. This time you take the net and I'll take the sword.
That smells good. What you cooking, Maria?
Non capisco.
You ask her, Miss Jean.
Che cosa cucina, Maria?
Oh, possum pizzaiola, fatback cacciatore, collard greens, parmesan.
I'll go fetch the young'un. Oh, Ellie Mae, Vittles is almost ready. Where's Jethro?
Oh, he's yonder.
Uncle Jed, could we please call off our gladiating?
Fine with me, boy. Come on in and have some fatback cacciatore.
The sun was high and bright over the pleasant expanses of the neighborhood, casting a warm and gentle glow across the lawn where Chester was walking with a purposeful stride. He was heading directly toward a young woman who looked up with a mixture of confusion and mild amusement as he approached. Jane looked at him, her eyes wide with a question that had been forming in her mind for the past several minutes. "Chester, what are you doing?" she asked, her voice carrying a tone of genuine curiosity. Chester did not hesitate for even a single second, his face completely serious as he replied that he was taking her home. Jane blinked in surprise, wondering what could have prompted such a sudden announcement from him. "What for?" she inquired, wanting to understand the reason behind this unexpected gesture. Chester smiled a simple, honest smile and explained that he was doing it so she could cook for him and take care of him. Jane let out a soft laugh, shaking her head at the sheer absurdity of the proposition. "Are you mad?" she asked, though there was no real anger in her voice, only the light-hearted banter of two people who knew each other well. Chester shrugged his shoulders lightly, looking a bit sheepish as he admitted that he thought she was bored. He then added with a nod that her mother always wanted a big wedding, suggesting that he had been thinking about the future in his own peculiar way. "But if you insist, Willie Lowe," he muttered, though his thoughts seemed to drift for a moment. Jane sighed gently, realized there had been a grand misunderstanding, and looked at him with an expression of kind sympathy. "I am awful sorry you got the wrong notion, Miss Jane," Chester said, quickly correcting himself as he realized he might have overstepped. "You see, I ain't got marriage in mind," he explained, his voice dropping to a humble whisper. "It is just cooking and such." "Oh, I see," Jane responded, the clarity of the situation finally dawning on her. The truth of the matter was that the household was in a bit of a state of minor confusion at the moment. "Granny has not returned from Petticoat Junction," Jane noted, thinking of the feisty elderly woman who usually kept everything running like a well-oiled machine. "And Ellie is trying to take her place," she continued, thinking of the young woman who had suddenly inherited the responsibilities of the kitchen. "And it is pitiful," Jane added with a small, fond smile, knowing that while Ellie had the best of intentions, her culinary skills were far from legendary. "Well, how is your Uncle Jed managing?" Jane asked, wondering how the patriarch of the family was surviving the sudden change in kitchen leadership. Chester shook his head, a look of comical commiseration on his face. "I ain't seen much of him since Ellie commands cooking," he admitted honestly. "If he has got his hiding places, I got mine." At that very moment, not too far away, Uncle Jed was indeed standing near the kitchen area, trying his best to look busy and useful. "Oh, I was just getting rid of a few of these ants here," Jed said aloud to no one in particular, tapping at a spot on the counter as if engaged in a highly important chore. He did not want to admit that he was actively avoiding the dining table. "I don't say no, he mumbled to himself, before Ellie suddenly appeared with a bright smile, holding a platter that looked incredibly heavy. "Done a good job, didn't I?" Ellie asked proudly, looking at her father with eyes full of hope and excitement. Jed looked at the mysterious creation on the platter, swallowed hard, and forced a warm smile to his face. "Sure did," Jed replied, trying to sound as enthusiastic as possible for the sake of his beloved daughter. "And as a reward, I am going to give you a double helping of what I just cut," Ellie announced cheerfully, lifting a large, dense portion of her latest culinary experiment. Jed felt a wave of mild panic wash over him, but he maintained his calm and polite demeanor. "Oh, Ellie, I don't think I am up to eating a full meal right now," Jed said, desperately searching for a polite way out of the generous offer. "Why don't you just heat me up by a can of that fine tomato soup that is in there in the cupboard?" he suggested, pointing toward the pantry with a hopeful glance. "Oh, but I fixed you a special treat that I might have all by myself," Ellie countered, her enthusiasm undiminished by his lack of appetite. "I call it my surprise loaf," she proudly declared, presenting the dish with a flourish. Jed looked at the surprise loaf, which indeed looked like a surprise, though perhaps not the kind one typically looked forward to at dinner time. "Oh," Jed said softly, his voice trailing off. "Oh, come on," Ellie urged, moving the plate closer to him. "Oh, Ellie," Jed started, his mind working quickly to find a suitable distraction. "I just thought of something," he said, his face lighting up as if he had just remembered a crucial piece of information. "Guess what is going to be awful hurt if I eat without him?" He looked around the room, hoping to spot a familiar face to share the burden. "I will go find a boy," Jed decided, preparing to make his escape. "How?" Ellie asked, looking confused by a sudden urge to locate her cousin. "Jethro ain't here," she pointed out. "He took the truck and left." Jed paused, turning back to look at her with a raised eyebrow. "When did he do that?" Jed inquired, surprised that the young man had managed to disappear so quietly. "Well, I think it was right after I told him I was going to cook a surprise loaf," Ellie answered innocently, completely unaware of the cause and effect relationship between her cooking announcement and Jethro's sudden departure. More than likely, Jed murmured to himself, understanding perfectly well why Jethro had fled the scene so rapidly. Meanwhile, across town, a phone line was buzzing with activity. "That is right, operator," a voice said into the receiver. "She is at the Shady Rest Hotel in Petticoat Junction," the person explained, trying to locate Granny. "But the nearest phone is at Sam Drucker's store in Hooterville," the speaker added, navigating the complicated rural communication network of the area. "Uh-huh," the voice continued, listening patiently to the operator on the other end. "Uh-huh. Thank you, bye," the person concluded, hanging up the phone with a sense of accomplishment. "This is going to get a message to Granny to come to town and call," the coordinator of the call muttered, hoping the plan would work. Not long after, a familiar, energetic figure burst through the door of the local establishment. "Hi, Granny," Sam Drucker greeted her, looking up from his counter with a look of pure astonishment. "Howdy, Mr. Drucker," Granny replied, wiping her brow but looking remarkably fresh for someone who had just traveled a significant distance. "Did you send for me?" she asked, getting straight to the point. Well, yeah, Granny," Sam Drucker answered, still blinking in disbelief. "How did you get here so fast?" He wondered aloud. "I run," Granny declared simply, as if running across the countryside was the most natural thing in the world for a woman of her advanced years. "It is only 6 miles, she added carelessly. Sam Drucker stared at her, his jaw dropping slightly. "Why didn't you catch the train?" he asked, knowing that the local tracks ran between the two locations. "I did," Granny replied with a proud toss of her head. "I caught it, and I passed it." Sam Drucker could only shake his head at her incredible stamina. He turned to his telephone operator, calling out into the mouthpiece. Sarah? "This is Sam," he said into the phone. "Sarah, Granny is here now, so you can get a hold of that Beverly Hills operator and have her call us back, huh?" he requested politely. "Thanks, Sarah," he added before turning back to the elderly woman standing before him. "Well, Granny, how is Betty Jo's baby?" Sam asked, changing the subject to family matters. "Oh, just fine and dandy," Granny answered with a nod of satisfaction. "Now," she added, her tone suddenly shifting to something a bit more mysterious. Sam caught the change in her voice and leaned forward. "Now? Was something wrong?" he inquired, his curiosity piqued. "Something wrong," Granny repeated, her face growing serious. "Mr. Drucker, what I done for that baby is a miracle," she stated with absolute conviction. A medical miracle, she emphasized. Sam's eyes widened. What was wrong? What did you do? He asked, eager to hear the details of this spectacular event. Oh, sorry. I can't tell you, Granny replied, suddenly looking very professional and aloof. That would be violating the confidence between the patient and the doctor, she explained, holding her chin high. I wish I could tell you, but me being a physician, my lips are sealed, she said, referencing her self-proclaimed medical status. You understand? She asked, looking at him over her nose. Oh, of course, Sam Drucker agreed, though he was secretly amused by her strict adherence to professional ethics. But it was one doozy of a miracle, Granny couldn't help but add, unable to resist bragging just a little bit. Now, if you was another doctor, I could tell you, she mused, looking at him thoughtfully. Have you ever been a doctor? She asked. No, Sam replied simply. Ever been a patient? Granny followed up, narrowing her eyes. Oh, yes, Sam answered. Oh, Granny exclaimed, clapping her hands together. Well, then I won't be violating the confidence between the doctor and the patient, she decided, instantly finding a loophole in her own rules. Mr. Drucker, in all my 60 years of doctoring, I have never been so shook up as I was the first time I peeked into that crib and saw Betty Jo's baby, she whispered conspiratorially. It looked for all the world like an Airedale puppy, she declared, her eyes wide. Jake is alive, and I thought Chester was an ugly baby, she added, shaking her head at the memory. Sam Drucker looked at her, utterly bewildered by the description. You say it looked like an Airedale puppy? He asked, trying to visualize the scene. And not even the pit of the litter, Granny confirmed with a solemn nod. But I brought it back to normal with my miracle medicine, she stated proudly. Say, Granny, as I remember, you left your spectacles in Andy Partner's jitney, so it just could be, Sam started to suggest, thinking that perhaps her eyesight had played a trick on her. Granny cut him off with a sharp look. Do you think I need these? She asked, gesturing toward her face. I got eyes like a hawk, she claimed. I only use them for professional reasons, because you don't trust a young-looking doctor, she explained with a confident smirk. Just then, the telephone on the wall began to ring loudly, interrupting their conversation. I bet that is your call from Beverly Hills, Sam Drucker said, moving toward the instrument. I will get it, he offered, picking up the receiver. Hello? Granny? Yeah, this is Granny, the elderly woman shouted, leaning in toward the phone despite Sam holding it. Who is talking? She demanded. This is Sam Drucker, but Sam started to say, trying to explain that he was the one holding the phone. It ain't me, Granny interrupted, turning to look at him. Sam Drucker is right here with me, she said into the room, thoroughly confusing herself and the connection. Sam sighed and pointed to the second phone on the desk. Your other phone is ringing, he noted. Thanks, I will get it, he said, picking up the second receiver. Hello? 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 Oh, yeah, right here, Sarah. He spoke into the line, finally getting the correct connection sorted out. Granny, it is your call from Beverly Hills, he announced, handing the proper receiver to her. Well, you take this phone, and tell that smart aleck that it is against the law to play pranks on doctors and firemen, Granny instructed, still holding the first phone and completely mistaking the situation. I will do that, Sam promised patiently, taking the extra phone from her. Granny finally spoke into the correct line. Hello? Hello, Granny? This here is Jethro. A booming voice came through the speaker, sounding a bit distant, but entirely recognizable. Speak up, boy. We got a bad connection, Granny shouted back, straining to hear her nephew. Meanwhile, Sam Drucker was dealing with a minor disturbance near the back of the store. Oh, no you don't, Sam said, moving quickly to intercept a furry visitor. Now, I got strict orders from Sam not to let you loose in the store, he muttered to himself, treating the situation with humor. Now, come here, he coaxed. Come on, he said, chasing a small dog away from the merchandise. Last time you went through a whole sack of dog biscuits, remember? He reminded the animal with a chuckle. Back on the phone, Granny was still trying to clarify the identity of the caller. Hello? Hello, Ernie? She asked, mishearing the name entirely. Oh, thank you, she said as the static cleared a bit. That is a better connection. Hi, Sam, the voice on the other end said, as another person joined the line or the conversation shifted. Granny, well, if it isn't a proud father, Granny spoke into the receiver, her face softening with affection. Say, did those things come in that we ordered for the baby? She inquired, remembering the supplies they had discussed. Yeah, they are in the back. Sam Drucker chimed in, answering the question from his position across the room. How is Betty Jo? He asked, looking toward Granny. Oh, she is fine, Granny reported, based on her recent visit. The baby had a bad night, she added, her expression turning serious once more. Oh, the voice on the other end inquired with concern. Yeah, started howling about 3 this morning, kept it up till dawn, Granny explained, nodding her head. Good, she stated unexpectedly. The little thing reverted, she theorized with a knowing look. Must have been a full moon last night, she added, fully convinced of her lunar medicine theories. Just then, Jethro's voice broke through the line again, louder and more urgent this time.
Granny.
Granny, he called out.
Huh?
Oh, yeah, Jethro, Granny responded, finally focusing on her nephew's call. What do you want? She asked. You gotta come home and cook for us, Jethro pleaded, his voice cracking slightly with genuine desperation. We need you, something desperate, he emphasized. Granny drew herself up to her full, albeit short, height. Not as desperate as they need me here, she countered firmly. Cooks are a dime a dozen, she declared with a wave of her hand. But where can the parents of that poor blighted baby get another miracle-working doctor? She asked rhetorically, fully convinced of her immense value to the world of medicine. Kay, come on back here, she said to herself as she prepared to finish her business in the store. Wait, little baby, wait, she murmured, thinking of the child. That little boomer might be homely, but it is the fastest crawler I have ever seen, she remarked with a chuckle. Back in Beverly Hills, Miss Jane was doing her best to help the remaining members of the Clampett household manage their daily lives in Granny's absence. Jethro, I think I have the solution to your food problem, Jane said kindly as she walked with the young man down a busy city street. They stopped in front of a neat office building with a clear sign on the window. This is an employment agency where you can hire maids, cooks, and all domestic help, she explained, pointing inside. Jethro looked at the building, his face lighting up with immense relief. Well, Miss Jane, I think you done saved my life, he said with deep gratitude. How can I thank you? He asked, wondering how he could ever repay such a wonderful favor. Jane smiled, a twinkle of poetic humor in her eyes. As the poet says, with hugs and kisses, debts are paid, she quoted light-hearted. When settling score, fix man and maid, she finished with a laugh.
Dog.
Jethro exclaimed, his favorite expression of excitement bursting out. I will be sure and hire a pretty one, he resolved, his mind immediately imagining the possibilities of a wonderful new cook in the house. A short time later, inside the grand mansion of the Clampett family, Uncle Jed was sitting quietly, enjoying a rare moment of peace. Suddenly, the front doors burst open and Jethro's voice echoed through the halls. Uncle Jed, where is Danny? Jethro shouted, though he seemed to be confused about names or simply shouting in excitement. He held a plate of food in his hand that smelled absolutely incredible. That is what you call real soul food, Jethro declared, taking a bite as he walked. Uncle Jed, Uncle Jed, he continued to call out, his footsteps thumping loudly against the floor. Out here in the kitchen, Jethro, Jed's calm voice drifted back from the rear of the house. Jethro hurried into the kitchen, his face flushed with excitement. Uncle Jed, have I got a surprise, he announced, practically bouncing on his heels. Jed looked up, a look of mild, humorous exhaustion on his face. I don't think I can stay in another one today, Jed admitted, thinking of Ellie's surprise loaf from earlier. Wait till you see her, Jethro insisted, completely ignoring his uncle's hesitation. Jed caught the pronoun immediately and raised an eyebrow. Her? He questioned. Miss Jane sent me to an employment agency, Jethro explained rapidly, so I hired us an imported cook, direct from Italy. Jed looked at his nephew with a mixture of surprise and skepticism. Well, fetch her in, boy, Jed instructed, curious to see who Jethro had brought home. She don't speak much English, but I done learned Italian, Jethro bragged, puffing out his chest proudly. Jed stared at him, utterly amazed by this claim. Just today? Jed asked dryly. Well, yeah, Jethro admitted without a hint of shame. You got to remember, this is the brain of a 6th grader, he reminded his uncle, proud of his self-proclaimed intelligence. Now watch, Jethro instructed, turning toward the doorway. I am going to call her in genuine Italian, he announced. He took a deep breath and shouted at the top of his lungs.
A bambina.
A bringing yourself to the kitch, he yelled, waving his arms around. He turned back to Jed with a smug grin. Oh, that is Italian for kitchen, he explained helpfully. Good girl, he added as a beautiful young woman stepped into the room, looking around with a polite but slightly bewildered expression. Pick up them 4 languages just like that, Jethro boasted, believing his own nonsense completely. Ain't she something? He asked, admiring their new employee. Jed stood up, stepping forward to greet the guest with his usual warmth and hospitality. Mighty pretty girl, Jed agreed, nodding in approval. And she can cook, huh? He asked, wanting to confirm the most important detail. Victuals is all she thinks about, Jethro assured him with a wide grin. Watch this, he said, stepping toward the young woman. Howdy, he said to her. Ciao. The young woman replied sweet, offering a gentle nod.
See?
Jethro turned to Jed, gesturing wildly. She must have mentioned ciao at least a dozen times today already, he noted, convinced it was a high compliment or a statement about food. Jethro then turned back to the cook to introduce his uncle. Senior Maria, this here is my Uncle Jed, he said, pointing to the patriarch. Howdy, Jed greeted her warmly, extending a hand. Ciao, Maria responded with a beautiful smile.
See?
There she goes again, Jethro whispered to Jed, completely delighted. Maria then spoke a full sentence in her native tongue, her voice melodic and smooth. Può essere un piacere lavorare per voi come cuciniera, ed aspetta che ti piaccia, she said, expressing her hope that they would enjoy her cooking. Jed blinked, looking completely lost. What did she say? Jed asked, turning to his resident translator. Oh, I ain't too sure, Uncle Jed, Jethro admitted, his confidence dropping just a fraction. I don't understand Italian as good as I talk it, he confessed. Jed chuckled softly and turned back to Maria, wanting to make her feel welcome despite the language barrier. Well, we is mighty pleased to have you here, miss, Jed said politely. Grazie, Maria replied. Cia bellissimo, she added, looking around the lovely kitchen. Mighty pretty name, Jed remarked, mistaking her words of appreciation for her proper name. Oh, that ain't her name, Jethro corrected him quickly. That is probably something she is going to cook for us, he theorized with a nod of authority. Just then, Ellie walked into the kitchen, looking curious about the commotion. Oh, Ellie, come on over and meet this young lady, Jed called out to his daughter. Senior Maria, this here is my cousin Ellie, Jethro introduced, gesturing between the 2 young women. Howdy, Ellie said, offering a friendly smile. Ciao, Maria replied kindly. Ellie looked at Jethro, a bit surprised. She does have littles on her mind, Ellie noted, misinterpreting the word just as Jethro had. She's going to cook us up a storm, Jethro predicted enthusiastically. Ellie's smile faded slightly, a touch of professional jealousy entering her expression. What is wrong with my cooking? She asked, looking at her father and cousin for an honest answer. Jethro leaned over to Jed and whispered loudly.
Shall I tell her?
He asked. You better let me, Jed replied quickly, knowing that Jethro lacked the necessary diplomacy for such a delicate conversation. Jed turned to his daughter, his voice gentle and reassuring. Ellie, your cooking is in a class by itself, Jed said truly. Ain't nobody can touch it, he added, which was technically a fact, though perhaps for different reasons than Ellie believed. That is the truth, Jethro chimed in, supporting his uncle. But you see, this young lady is new in our country, Jed explained carefully, and she needs all the experience she can get. Ellie's good-natured heart immediately won out over her pride. Oh, well, fine, she agreed happily. I will learn her how to make my surprise loaf, she offered, excited to share her signature dish. Jed's eyes widened slightly at the thought of the surprise loaf being replicated. I believe I had a whole loaf on that first, Ellie, Jed said quickly, trying to steer the conversation away from further baking experiments. Why don't you take the young lady up to your room and make her comfortable? He suggested, hoping to give Maria a chance to settle in. Oh, yes, sir, Pop, Ellie agreed readily. Come on, Senior Maria, she said, gesturing for the cook to follow her. We will see you later for chow, Ellie added, trying out the new word. Oh, chow, Maria replied as she followed Ellie out of the kitchen. Jethro turned to Jed, looking a bit puzzled by the exchange. What did you do that for? He asked. Oh, that means something in Italian, Jed answered with a shrug. I don't know what, but they all do it. I see, Jethro said, nodding as if he understood perfectly. I will tote her suitcases up to the room, he offered, picking up the heavy bags. Wonder what I just said, he muttered to himself as he walked away, still trying to decipher his own version of the language. Back at Petticoat Junction, Steve walked into the cozy living room of his home, holding a paper bag in his arm. Hi, honey, he greeted his wife warmly. Hi, darling, Betty Jo replied, looking up from the sofa with a tired but happy smile. Got the new nursing bottles, Steve announced, setting the bag down on the table. How is the baby? He asked, looking toward the small crib in the corner. Sleeping, thank goodness, Betty Jo answered, letting out a long sigh of relief. Oh, hello, boy, she added as a friendly dog trotted into the room, wagging its tail. Honey, I wouldn't hold him, Steve warned gently, looking at the pet. I think he has got fleas again, he noted with a grimace. Really? Betty Jo asked, shifting slightly on the sofa. Yeah, Steve confirmed. Well, there is still some of that insect repellent that Granny brewed up, Betty Jo remembered, pointing toward a shelf. Oh, yeah, what she calls her miracle medicine, Steve recalled with a smile, remembering Granny's unique approach to home remedies. Come on, boy, let's give Granny's cure another try, he said to the dog, gesturing for the animal to follow him. Need some help? Betty Jo offered, starting to stand up. No, 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 Steve insisted quickly, waving her back down. You sit right here, he commanded gently. You had a rough night, he reminded her with an affectionate look before heading into the next room with the dog. A few moments later, Granny entered the house, looking energized and full of purpose. Hello, little mama, she greeted Betty Jo cheerfully. Hello, Granny, Betty Jo replied, happy to see her. I heard that you had a bad night last night, Granny said, pulling up a chair and sitting down. Yes, we did, Betty Jo admitted with a nod. I think it was colic, she explained, referencing the common infant ailment. Granny looked at her, her brow furrowing as she processed the word. Did you say colic or collie? Granny asked, wanting to be absolutely certain of the diagnosis. Colic, Betty Jo clarified with a smile. Oh, Granny said, looking a bit relieved but still deeply analytical. Did your husband get home with the little fellow yet? She asked, looking around the room for Steve and the baby. Yes, Betty Jo answered. Weren't you with him on the train? She asked, knowing they had both been traveling. No, Granny explained, shaking her head. I cut through the woods to look for some roots and some yarbs, she stated, using her traditional term for herbal ingredients. I gotta brew up another batch of my miracle medicine, she announced, feeling the call of her medical duties. Oh, there's still some left, Betty Jo informed her, gesturing toward the back room. Steve just went in to use it on the little flea trap, she added with a light chuckle. Granny's eyes snapped open in sudden shock and horror. Oh, honey, don't call that precious little darling a flea trap, Granny reprimanded her, looking deeply offended on behalf of the child. Betty Jo laughed, realizing the misunderstanding. Oh, I call him all kinds of things, but I love the little mutt, she said affectionately, referring to their family dog who is currently receiving the treatment. Granny, however, took the words entirely literally, believing Betty Jo was speaking about her own newborn child. Well, there is one thing about you young uns of today, Granny mused, looking at her with a mixture of awe and concern. "You have got the courage to face the truth," she remarked solemnly. "In my day, we would have kept him upstairs in a room with the shades drawn," she admitted, thinking of how families used to hide unusual-looking children. Betty Jo looked at her, a bit puzzled by the dramatic statement. "I wouldn't do that," Betty Jo said, thinking of her beloved pet. "I think he is cute," she added with a smile. Granny shook her head, deeply moved by what she perceived as an incredible display of maternal devotion. "There is nothing mightier than the power of mother love," Granny declared with absolute seriousness. "Betty Jo, sit down, honey," she instructed, leaning closer. "I want to talk to you about your family plan," Granny said, her tone becoming very grandmotherly. "Have you and your husband thought about having any more young-uns?" she inquired, curious about the future of the family line. "Oh, yes," Betty Jo answered enthusiastically. "We want to have a large family," she stated happily. Granny looked at her in complete disbelief. "In spite of what happened last night?" Granny asked, thinking of the supposed canine regression of the infant. "Oh, sure," Betty Jo replied easily, thinking of the minor bout of fussiness. "You can't expect a baby to be perfect," she noted philosophically. Granny swallowed hard, staring at her granddaughter. "Yeah, but they don't have to miss by that much," Granny muttered under her breath, still horrified by her own visual misunderstandings. "The way Steve and I feel, we want to have a dozen more just like the first one," Betty Jo declared with a bright, confident smile. Granny's jaw dropped. "Honey, courage is one thing, but foolishness is another," she warned sternly, genuinely concerned for the genetic future of the household. Betty Jo chuckled, thinking Granny was just reacting to the large number. "Well, I guess a dozen was an exaggeration," Betty Jo conceded. "Good girl," Granny said, letting out a breath of relief. "But at least 4 or 5, Betty Jo added, narrowing down the goal. "Now you are heading in the right direction," Granny agreed, feeling a bit more comfortable with that number. Just then, Steve walked back into the room, looking happy and content. "Look who is ready for a stroll," he announced, pointing to the dog who was now looking clean and refreshed, or perhaps referencing the actual baby in a stroller. "Did my miracle medicine work?" Granny asked eagerly, leaning forward to inspect the results. "Oh, it sure did, Granny," Steve confirmed with a big smile. "I have done it again," Granny cheered, clapping her hands. "I mean, you have done it again," Steve corrected himself quickly, giving her all the credit. Before Granny could celebrate any further, the front door opened and Sam Drucker stepped inside, holding a piece of paper in his hand. "Granny? Granny? There is a telegram just came for you," Sam announced, looking a bit winded from his journey. Granny looked at him in surprise. "How did you get here, sir?" she asked, wondering how he had arrived so quickly from Hooterville. "Pumped out on a hand car," Sam explained, wiping his forehead. "Come on, Sam," Granny said suddenly, grabbing her coat and pulling him toward the door. "We are pumping back in," she declared with immense urgency. Sam blinked, completely caught off guard. "What is the matter?" he asked as she practically pushed him out the door. "My family is starving," Granny announced, reading the urgent message. "Take Keely to baby," she called back to Steve and Betty Jo, shouting instructions over her shoulder. "If it barks, give it a boo," she ordered, her medical advice taking a strange turn due to her confusion. "I will be back," she promised, looking determined. "I will be back come the next full moon," she shouted as she and Sam disappeared down the path. Steve and Betty Jo stood in the living room, staring after her in complete silence for a long moment. "Do you understand what she was talking about?" Steve asked, turning to his wife with an expression of pure bewilderment. "Not a word," Betty Jo admitted honestly, shaking her head. "But you have to admit there has not been a dull moment since she came to visit," she added with a sweet laugh. "Yeah," Steve agreed, a smile returning to his face. "Someday we ought to visit her planet," he joked gently, wrapping an arm around his wife's shoulders. "See you later, girls," he called out into the house as they settled back into their quiet routine. Back in the bustling city of Beverly Hills, inside the grand offices of the Commerce Bank, a very different kind of drama was unfolding. Mr. Drysdale, the chief executive, was marching through the lobby, his face red with anger as he spotted his loyal secretary, Miss Jane, returning to her desk. "You can put that silly-looking hat back on your head. You are fired," Mr. Drysdale barked loudly, pointing a stern finger at her. Jane stopped in her tracks, looking at him with an expression of utter disbelief. "What for?" she asked, wanting to know what crime she had committed this time. "For leaving your desk during your lunch break," Mr. Drysdale answered sharply, as if that were the most heinous offense imaginable. "But, Chief," Jane started to protest, trying to inject some logic into the situation. "Where were you?" Mr. Drysdale interrupted, demanding an immediate explanation. "Having lunch," Jane answered simply, stating the obvious purpose of a lunch break. "That is no excuse," Mr. Drysdale countered unreasonably, waving his hands in the air. "Fine thing," he continued, his voice rising in pitch. "You gorge yourself while my largest depositor starves," he accused, dramatically clutching his chest. Jane sighed, knowing exactly who he was referring to. "Jed Clobber?" she asked, using his pet name for the wealthy patriarch Jed Clampett. "If that magnificent multi-millionaire loses so much as 1 ounce, you will spend 30 days in the vault counting nickels," Mr. Drysdale threatened, glare at her with absolute seriousness. "But, Chief," Jane tried to speak again. "With the lights out," Mr. Drysdale added, finalizing the terrifying and comical punishment. "I had to handle this emergency all along," he complained, pacing back and forth across the floor. Jane crossed her arms, looking at him with a critical eye. "What emergency?" she asked, knowing how easily her boss could panic over nothing. "Granny called here," Mr. Drysdale explained, his voice shaking with residual stress. "She said you had to get home from Hooterville right away," he recalled. "Now, do you know where Hooterville is?" he asked Jane, leaning in close. "No," Jane answered honestly. "Neither does anyone else," Mr. Drysdale cried out, throwing his hands up in despair. "Oh, I had to move heaven and earth to arrange transportation for that little woman," he boasted, detailing his immense efforts. Traveling by handcar, horseback, motorcycle, and a crop-dusting plane out of the Napa-Sonoma Valley, he listed, painting a picture of an epic, cross-country rescue mission. "Beverly Hills, Lindy," he shouted, referencing old aviation heroes. "Handcar, cow pony, motorcycle, plane," he repeated, shaking his head at the sheer complexity of the logistics. "Oh, boy," he groaned, suddenly looking very tired. Jane looked at him, a sudden thought occurring to her. "Do you have any idea what these travel arrangements are going to cost?" she asked, knowing how much the banker loathed spending money. "No," Mr. Drysdale admitted, blinking as the financial reality began to sink in. "Well, you will because it is going to come out of your salary," he decided instantly, pointing a finger back at Jane. Jane frowned, thoroughly annoyed by the unfairness of it all. "You fired me," she reminded him coolly. "You are hired again," Mr. Drysdale countered without missing a beat, realizing he needed her to manage the paperwork. "I can't afford a tab like this," he muttered, looking at the imaginary bill in his mind. Jane let out a short, sharp laugh. "Chief, you brought this all on yourself by panicking," she pointed out gently but directly. "There is no emergency at the Clampetts," she informed him, setting the record straight. Mr. Drysdale stared at her, completely confused. "What are you babbling about?" he demanded. "Granny said they were starving," he insisted. "A false alarm," Jane explained calmly. "I sent Jethro to an employment agency," she revealed. "He hired a cook and she is there now," she assured him, hoping to finally calm his nerves. Instead of being relieved, Mr. Drysdale's face turned an even deeper shade of red as a new, terrifying realization washed over him. "You mean to say that Granny is going to come home and find another woman in her kitchen?" he asked, his voice dropping to a horrified whisper as he imagined the legendary wrath of the elderly family matriarch. "Well, Jane started to say, realizing that she might have accidentally created a massive domestic conflict. "You're fired again," Mr. Drysdale shouted, panicking all over again. "And I am going right over there and fire her," he announced, preparing to run out the door to save himself from Granny's anger. Jane watched him go, completely unfazed by the sudden termination. If I am fired, how can I pay for the... She started to ask, calling after him. It will come out of your unemployment check, Mr. Drysdale yelled back over his shoulder as he burst through the exit, leaving Jane to shake her head at his antics. Back at the Clampett mansion, the atmosphere was incredibly festive and full of joy. The dining room table was laden with delicious, steaming platters of authentic Italian food, and the family was enjoying every single bite. I declare, them is just about the best middles I ever tasted, Jed announced with a deep sigh of satisfaction, wiping his mouth with a napkin. Me too, Pa. Ellie agreed happily, her previous jealousy completely forgotten in the face of such an incredible feast. I will compliment the cook in her native language, Jethro announced proudly, standing up from his chair and preparing to show off his newly acquired linguistic skills once more. Hey, Bambina, Jethro called out toward the kitchen door. This is tough, as to what you call a delish, he shouted, believing he was speaking flawless Italian. He turned back to Jed and Ellie with a proud grin. That is Italian for good, he explained with absolute confidence. Maria stepped out of the kitchen, holding a beautiful dessert platter and smiling sweetly at the compliments. Excuses, she said politely as she placed the dish on the table. Next, dolce, she announced, pointing to the sweet treat. Tortone, she added, naming the specific dessert. Jed looked at the dish, then turned to Jethro, completely lost. What is she saying? Jed asked. Oh, something about a friend of hers named Tony, Jethro guessed wildly, completely misinterpreting the word for cake or dessert. Jed shrugged and took a bite, finding it absolutely delicious. He looked up at his daughter with a thoughtful expression. If you could cook like that, girl, you would have to beat the boys off of the club, Jed noted with a chuckle, thinking of how popular Ellie would be with the local bachelors. Not now, Pa, Ellie replied, her mind focused on learning rather than romance. I am going to ask her to learn me how to make that vegetable soup, she decided, determined to expand